I'm going to show you how to do a proper deadlift here. So whenever I deadlift, I'd like to think of these few cues to help me just get in the right position, but also as I pull to make sure I'm pulling consistently each time. So first cue I like to think about is hinging. So I always think hinge. So instead of, I'm not just bending down and just grabbing the bar here. When I hinge, I'm also focusing on my hips going back, and that already loads my glutes and hamstrings as I'm hinging, as my back side goes horizontally to the back, almost like an RDL, hinging down. Again, I'm not just bending over where my butt and my backside stay relatively in the same spot. Think of it going back. I feel my hamstrings tight. And then from there, so I hinge, grab the bar, and then I'm gonna brace, engage my lats. When I engage my lats, I'm essentially pulling think of trying to squeeze your arms to your sides as tight as possible. Like you're trying to hold something underneath your arm is the way I would think of it. Kind of like down and back. You almost feel your chest flexing as well when you do that. So you have hinge, grab, engage the lats, and then you're going to sink your butt down until it almost feels like the bar is going to float off the floor. So my hamstrings and glutes are already loaded. Then as I'm hinging down to the right position, I grab it, lats engage, and then as I sink my hips down, it's almost like it's pivoting around my hip joint, and I'm sitting back. The bar is almost going to float here for a second. Then I'm going to use my legs and hips. See, my legs aren't locked out yet. When it gets past my knees, then I'm going to extend my legs and my hips at the same time. So the cues I like to think are hinge, grip, brace. That brace is your core and your lats. Sit. So my hips started here. I'm not pulling from here. I'm sitting down. So hinge, grip, brace, sit. It's going to be push. And then as soon as it passes my knees, I'm going to squeezing my butt and my hips through. So you have hinge, grip, brace, sit, press, squeeze. Press, squeeze. And as I'm squeezing, I'm not leaning back. So if I lean back, my toes might start to come up. I'm not wanting to do that. I'm just squeezing where my legs and hips lock out at the same time. If my legs lock out too early, you'll see here, they lock out too early, then it's only about using basically your back to try and pull it back because your legs lock out too early. You want your knees and hips to be locking out at about the same time. So you go from here, start again. Hinge, grip, brace, sit, push. See, my knees are still bent. Knees, hips lock out at the same time. So you're engaging all the leg power, those leg muscles, through the whole lift and your hips and your low back and your hamstrings. So again, if you are locking out those legs too early, you don't have any more leg drive here to help you with whatever that load is. But if you're going straight up, I still am using my legs too as I'm using my hips to push through. And when I say squeeze, I mean squeeze that butt and almost feel like you're trying to twist both legs out and screw your feet into the ground and really feel it in your hamstrings and your glutes. So, last time, hinge, grip, brace, sit. See that bar's floating? Press, squeeze. And I'm trying to push through my toes on the ground too and my heels. And that's how you do a proper deadlift.